team, Pete from Bear Athletic here, and today we're going to talk about goal setting. So I'm sure you've heard about SMART goals. I think they're dumb. My evidence base in this paper that I'm going to show you is going to show why they're kind of dumb. Obviously, they have a place. I'm not saying don't use them or whatever, and if they work for you, they work for you. But there's better ways to think about goal setting as a whole. A really good way, an analogy I like to use is we're a little snowball, maybe we're a boulder going down a hill, and we're collecting small goals on the way to our final goal. I don't know, let's say our final goal is knocking over a house. So that little rock starts at the top. It's one little goal, gets big enough to knock that house down, knock our goal down, and start killing it. So I'm going to show you this paper now, and then we'll have a chat. So here's the paper I was telling you guys about, and how we're focusing on those subordinate goals, which I'm going to define in a second. It really helps you reach your general goals and your pursuit of your goals as a whole. So they're challenging, specific, and concrete goals. And then this is just the purpose of the article, shedding some light on things that aren't quite SMART goals, and to show people how to actually pursue a long-term goal, like knocking the house down by hitting those little ones. So focusing on the subordinate, or let's say the habits or the rituals that we try and instill in our life in general to hit those goals, making the environment we want conducive to getting what we want. So here is, I'll leave that, and I'm just going to jump down to the conclusion. Sitting all the way down the bottom. So in the long term, crucial to challenging on a personal level. So remember, we want to keep that growth mindset. And then you can kind of apply it to things like jobs and stuff like that. But I'm trying to arm you, especially within this video, of understanding the basics for interventions. So for goal settings, so that you guys can get the best out of both the gym and life in general. So we're looking at pursuing goals in long term. It's a lot easier to get that really long term goal, like squatting 100 kilos, if we actually focus on doing the little things like squatting twice a week first, rather than going in and trying to hit it constantly. Or I want to eat healthier, so rather than just going and throwing out your whole fridge and then focusing on just eating those really healthy things you identify as healthy, we think about, I'm going to have some more protein in my diet. I'm going to increase my vegetable intake. Or I'm going to make sure I eat more fruit and have colorful plates. Like those guidelines that we have are more conducive to hitting those long-term goals that we care about, that we want, rather than just focusing on that one little rigid thing and not really having a how. So we want to have a what, and then we're going to focus on the how. And having both together has been shown, and as by this paper shows, really, really good and conducive for hitting those goals that we want to achieve. So why does this actually matter? Well, I'm trying to set you up to be the best possible version of yourself by giving you the opportunity to be able to set goals in the gym and outside of the gym. So doing this and learning kind of these procedures and using these take-home points, you're going to be better off hitting your long-term goals, become more adherent, become more consistent, and become virtuous in the things you're trying to get really good at, whatever you're trying to achieve, and it'll just make your life generally better. So my take-home points for this one are, we want to establish a hierarchy or a tier. So like I said previously, we have the what, and then we want to focus on the how. So let's say your what is, I want to get stronger. Let's be very general. So my how is going to be, I want to be able to go into the gym and resistance train 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to seek out someone with the knowledge to train me, or I'm going to seek out the knowledge myself. I'm going to make sure I'm getting adequate protein intake and sleep, about 8 hours a night, so I can recover. So you can see a very general framework from the what to the how. We want to favor changing our approach rather than total avoidance. So the example I used previously is quite great. We want to lose weight rather than avoiding certain foods because we think they're unhealthy. What we're going to do is just try increase those other little bits for our approach. We're going to change our approach and say, I'm going to eat a bit more vegetables. I'm going to eat some more fruit. I'm going to make sure I get my protein intake rather than kind of being cold turkey, cutting it. As we know, when we're really restrictive, that's when things fail, especially within goals. That's in everything. We want to have a little bit of flex in there to make it easy for us to achieve goals. And as humans, we kind of need that. As we spoke about previously, we want to focus on the process or the rituals, the things that get us to our outcome, not just the outcome. So if I want to get stronger, I'm not just going to focus on getting stronger. I'm going to focus on the outcome, the little hows, not the what, the hows to get there. This is going to make you a lot more successful in your goal setting as a whole. And we've already used examples previously. I want you guys to favor kind of mastering things or building virtuosity rather than pure performance. So if, for instance, you're in the gym and you're trying to get stronger and you're trying to increase your squat, that's a very easy one. We're going to try adopt a growth mindset. If we, let's say, miss a set and we don't hit it at a RPE 9 or it feels harder or worse, we're going to kind of flip that, reverse it, say, cool, that was harder or maybe feel pretty terrible, but I got more experience going under a bar. I got more reps in the tank, so I'm becoming more virtuous and I'm feeling better. So kind of focusing on that mastery rather than just performance, because we know performance can change day to day. It has so many things affecting it, but that mastery and that growth in ourselves, that's something we can keep forever and kind of keep us motivated getting towards our goal, those little steps. We still want to set really ambitious goals, but we still want to cut that little bit of slack, that little bit of flexibility in ourselves. Not too flexible, obviously, because we're not going to attain it, but slight amount of flexibility, because we know rigidity, as we talked about previously, is like pretty much unless it completely works for you, which it could, rigidity in a lot of the research has shown to lead to worse outcomes of our goals. We also kind of want to lean on helpful little, I'm going to say this is ways to trick our brain. And so a really good way to think of it is if, then. So if I'm feeling tired today and I don't feel like going to the gym, I'm going to go in because I know it'll make me feel better and I'm going to feel less tired, more energized, and I'll feel just great about working out as a whole. So if, then when, or if and I'll are two things that I will, are two things I want you guys to think about when you're setting those goals or not feeling like 100% about them. Setting those and making those little rules that are still flexible, but not rigid, that's going to really help hit those goals that we want. Another really great thing to think about is making your environment work for you. So be in spaces you enjoy that are related to your goals. If you hate the gym you're going to, you hate the people there, you don't feel comfortable, you hate the machines, I know the stuff you want, go to a different gym. Go to places that are conducive to getting your goals. If you feel like you overindulge in a certain really calorie-dense food when you're at home, obviously that's okay sometimes, but let's make it less accessible. Let's either put it on a high shelf or behind some things, so it's a bit of an effort to get to, or we just don't fill our house with it and things like that. The other thing when we're looking at our environment as a whole is support. So support could be from a trainer or it could be just from your mates. You can pick someone else up that you guys have similar goals. You can kind of check in with each other and make sure you're doing the right thing. Or you could simply just tell your family and friends you're doing a goal. I find this a really, really useful example, and it motivates me because I'll check in with you, ask about it, and it kind of puts it back onto you to hit that goal because they're expecting it, but also it matters to you and them now. So it's almost twice as important. So if you kind of keep all these things in mind, I know it was a lot of points. You can go back, write them down, but I think all of these are really important. In fact, I know all of these are really important for when we want to hit goals and we're setting goals in general, both in life and in the gym. So if you have any questions or you need any help with your goal setting, hit me up